Slow down to lead better, caring within by iswitchme. The soft hum of the cruise boat gliding across Lake Minnewanka was the only sound breaking the calm as golden hour settled over Banff National Park. Snow-dusted peaks towered in the distance, their reflections dancing on the rippling water. A few birds skimmed the lake's surface, and the evening breeze carried the faint scent of pine and fresh air. Grandma sat with her knitting on her lap, legs crossed beneath a wool blanket. Beside her, Grandpa was gently nodding off, his sun hat tilted forward. Across from them, Justin lazily stirred his tea, phone in one hand, eyes half lost in the screen. Julia, his twin sister, sat nearby, elbows on knees, gazing out at the mountains, her brows furrowed in deep thought. Sitting just behind them in a reclining deck chair, Uncle Roger, Grandma's younger brother and a retired aerospace engineer, was sketching something in a small notebook, something about air resistance and mountain wind probably. His signature white mustache twitched as he occasionally glanced up at the family. Grandma glanced over at Justin, then folded her knitting slowly and placed it on her lap. "Justin," she said, her voice gentle, "have I ever told you about the time I realized the importance of being aware of my own wake?" He blinked up from his phone. "Your what?" "Your wake," she smiled. "You know how boats leave ripples behind them in the water? Leaders do the same." Julia leaned in, curious. "Like, when you're leading, you leave a trail behind?" "Exactly," Grandma nodded. "I wasn't always aware of mine. Back when I was leading a large team, I was so focused on moving things forward, checking boxes, chasing deadlines, that I didn't see the waves I was making behind me." Justin chuckled. "Sounds like how work's been for us lately. It's been a sprint." Uncle Roger looked up from his notebook. "You know," he chimed in, "that's what we used to worry about in engineering, too. You can't just launch something into space without knowing how every force affects it. Same goes for people. You can't lead without noticing the drag you're creating." Grandma smiled. "Exactly what I learned. It wasn't until one of my team members came to me and said, 'You're always moving so fast, we feel like we're being dragged.' That stopped me in my tracks." Julia winced. "Ouch!" "I know," Grandma said, her eyes kind. "I realized I wasn't giving people space. I was setting the pace, but forgetting to check who was struggling to keep up." Justin nodded slowly, absorbing it. "So what did you do?" "I slowed down. I started paying more attention. I asked more questions, listened longer, watched how people responded to my decisions. I stopped rushing through conversations and started being present. My team didn't just work better, they started to trust me more." Uncle Roger leaned forward, tapping his pencil on the notebook. "It's like flying in formation. You don't just focus on your target, you check your wingmen. Make sure you're not pulling ahead too hard or they'll lose the draft." Julia smiled. "So leadership isn't just about where you're going, it's about how you're affecting everyone around you as you move." "Exactly," Grandma said, reaching for her tea. "You're always leaving a wake. Might as well make it gentle." Justin looked down at the lake, watching the ripples fan out behind the boat. "Well," he said after a moment, "maybe it's time I stop racing and start cruising." Grandma winked. "That's the spirit, Captain." They all laughed gently as the sun dipped lower behind the peaks, painting the lake in hues of amber and rose. Grandpa snored softly, and Uncle Roger went back to his sketching, but not before drawing a little wake behind a tiny boat on the corner of the page. "Ready for a switch?" Leadership is all about awareness. How we impact our team matters. The way we move, speak, and act shapes the organization. Lead with mindfulness and care.